Yo, right here in the small box. Cause
What happened?
you don't understand. People around here are ready. They ready to jump, bro. They ready to jump.
Why? 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 What happened?
Nah, because I ain't gonna hold you. A lot of people in here, well, majority of people, they do not like you. Yeah, they do
Good.
not like you. They
That means
ready
I'm
to
doing
jump.
something right.
That's crazy. I don't know if you know this about me. You probably don't. Well, I'm a very critical individual when it comes to the music, especially the music around here. And a lot of things I'm gonna say, a lot of people are not gonna like. So I just gotta start with that first.
Hey, bro, your speech. You're preaching to the choir, bro. You're preaching to the person who says shit that people don't like on a weekly basis. So I don't. It doesn't make me. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I tell these niggas that their music is trash, bro. I'm not like I don't just sit here and say, oh, these guys' music is good and go catch a. It sucks that you caught a body. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll tell them if their music's trash too. It's like shit. You caught a body and your music's trash, like double whammy.
First of all, welcome to the Discord and welcome to the channel. You know, this is gonna be an odd link up. A lot of people are gonna be confused when they see this. A lot of people expect me to jump because they're like, we waiting to get you.
Are you live on YouTube right now too?
Yeah, so we good on YouTube right now.
Okay. Well, listen, man. Whatever the people want to know and whatever you want to know, I'm here for, man.
Okay. So let's start. Let's go ahead and start. Like, are you, when it comes to OVO and when it comes to Aubrey Graham, what's the temperature over there like for you specifically? Because based on what I see now, I'm not really like tapped in fully, but I'm just sprinkled in here and there in terms of watching lives and some videos. And then from some of the things that I'm hearing, my curiosity sparked, like, are you actively trying to get interviews from any of them? Are you trying to get like some sort of content out of them? Like, I'm just trying to see what the temperature is over there.
I've had interviews from, I guess, like Smiley back in the days. I've interviewed OVO 40. Like, I have a short 15-minute interview, I think around episode 400. It was one of those anniversary episodes. So it's not like it's never been done before, right? And I've conducted multiple interviews with non-OVO artists over there at 40 Studios. So the relationship has always been there. And as far as even just the relationship with OVO or just with Drake or whatever, like, we've known them since like the early 2000s. So that's that when it comes to that relationship. But as far as like right now, I don't know what the temperature is, bro. I give my point of view on shit. I try to stay as objective as possible within what I just told you, like, you know, the relationships that I do have. And that objectivity sometimes doesn't always go in the best direction because some, you know, I'm gonna speak my mind.
Yeah, cause like that's the thing, cause like it's real sensitive over there.
I don't know about sensitive, but like, because people don't always like that word. That's kind of a buzzword. But when you're commenting on certain things on a wide scale, or maybe people can deem what you're saying influential, I could understand sometimes people saying, "Yo, bro, like, watch what you say."
No, I hear that. That's not me though. I'm gonna just say that. I actually, funny enough, last year, so a couple months ago, I was reacting to one of We Love Hip Hop's videos, and funny enough, DJ Czar was like in the chat and he wanted to speak. So I had him on Discord with him and Underground Nation, your op. I do know that drama. I do know that, but after that, that's it.
Okay, so here's one thing I want to do now that I even have you here on a live. I've watched a lot of those clips because you tag me in those clips on YouTube, and I go through the YouTube mentions. I see who's mentioned us, who's reacted to any of our videos, and I go and I go take a look. Brother, you've been hella critical of the network or my commentary on shit, and I'm just thinking to myself, what did I do? Like, why this nigga like Like every video I would be seeing, you'd be like, oh, here we go again. Like as if like I'm just coming up with the most harebrained, wild, insane theories when I was coming up with any of my point of view on anything. And then somewhere along the line, it was a switch. And like now, I seen you in the chat and everything, and I just wanted to know when that switch happened and why you wasn't fucking with me in the first place.
No, okay, so watch this, bet. So this goes back to the one Culture United that you were on. That one,
Okay.
like
What?
way back, like it was at the tail end of the beef. Like I remember you were there. There was Company Man, Curtis King, your other op, was there.
Curtis Queen, yeah.
And there's some friction there. But funny enough, I think if I'm correct, I only had about like 2,000 subscribers around the time, and that's when like some of my videos were starting to fly. And in the chat, like a lot of people that like tapped in with the videos, literally in that chat with 1,000+ people, they were like, "Yo, Flex, why aren't you up there?" I'm like, "What?" Cause I'm speaking truth. So the videos that did like pop off for me, the truth that I was speaking in it, a lot of people were resonating with that. And so when they kind of like compare it, the things that I say with what you're saying on that panel, everyone was like, Is he good? There's not like is he for real right now?
So hold on. Was it because I wasn't saying things that were like anti-Drake?
It's not
pro Kendrick coming from Toronto?
No. So it's not necessarily just like the it's not anti-Drake. It's just the fact that you were kind of like around that time you were kind of hiding from like saying what it is.
But hiding what? Because you guys feel, and you said, and you just said a few minutes ago, maybe less than a minute ago, maybe less than 5 minutes ago, I was speaking the truth based on whose accession right there, or based on whose perception of the truth. Because you're saying I'm saying the truth, that may be your audience in the chat agreeing with you, but that might not necessarily be somebody else's belief.
Oh, I see what you're saying. No, so I do remember that time specifically because you were on a different side back then. Because I believe the way you were talking, you're kind of like you're trying to stand in for like Toronto, like nah, we good around here, like it's peaceful around here, on that kind of shit. And in my videos, I was like, bro, it's bullshit.
Okay, but because we have a difference of opinions, your audience is like, you should be up there instead of me. That don't make no sense, because the reason I was up there is because of my relationship with Justin Hunt.
Yeah, I know. No, I know. I'm familiar with like the relationship, everything like that. It was like for play in a sense, but like there was still some truth to it, just based on the difference of conversation at that time.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. And on top of that, with my growth on the channel, like I haven't shied away from my points whatsoever. So I've made a lot of points about the music scene. I've made a lot of points critically about Drake, and then just showing and comparing and contrasting the inconsistencies. And then I've never shied away from that once. I remember a lot of people that I knew, they were killing me for my takes on what I was talking about when it comes to Aubrey. But I stood, like the thing about it is that I stood on business, right? That's the main thing about it for me.
Yeah.
And then when I'm watching your videos and I'm doing the reactions and I'm paying attention to the conversation that y'all are having, I'm like, all right, we got to talk about the inconsistencies now, because you're going ahead and saying one thing over here, and on the other side it's like this. And then,
yes, but I also have different relationships than you have with different people in these scenes. I can't really completely speak for your relationships, but I don't know how many DMs you get from Drake after you have a conversation that goes out to a lot of people.
No, that's valid. That's valid, but even then, I don't.
And I'm not saying that I'm not saying he's checking me like, oh, watch what you say. No, like sometimes he might be correcting certain points that I've made on a live stream or on my own podcast sometimes, and he's like, no, that's not how it was. That's not how I'm thinking. You know what I'm saying? So I'm getting like streamline information sometimes from the I guess from the horse's mouth himself. Pause. And I'm basing my opinions based on that. And I'm not only just using my based on relationships, because I've actually lost relationships within the OVO camp because of my objectivity.
See, me personally, that's just I see where you're going with that, and I understand that. But where I'm standing, me personally, I could care less. I could care less about them because there's.
Oh well, that's not a good thing not a good way to think, fam. Because in the end of the day, just because you might not like somebody's musical approach or whatever, it doesn't mean that they might not be a good business asset for you. So you might have some connections over at OVO that might be able to get you a grant, or might be able to freaking put you in to get you a gig, and now you got it like an extra money flow. It's not always about the music and the integrity of the music. Like, it's the music business, my nigga.
That's valid. That's valid. It's just what I stand for as a person, right? Like, I can't stand there, witness the inconsistencies, see like the gaps in the talk, and then just ignore that and just look at things blindly. That's me. Right? Like there's like it's one thing that you're this artist and there's not much to show for it. And I'm not talking catalog. I'm talking just like outside of the borders of that. Right? Like I've had the conversations after Drake, who's next? And I've happily said nobody. I've had numerous conversations about the integrity of the music scene here. I've had numerous conversations on this channel about just what the scene's looking like, the temperature. This dates back to like when I first started. All this talk that I've been doing dates back to since when I first started damn near 2 years ago.
And is this Drake's fault?
It's not about whose fault it is. It's just like we need leadership. And when I see someone like Aubrey at the top, yeah, that's great. But regardless if you like it or not, you're that leader. You have to show that kind of leadership now.
Okay, so as opposed to who? Give me an example of the other person who should set the example for Aubrey to do that leadership type of moves.
Shoot, Jay-Z. Plain and simple. That's the easy one.
Okay, and he put on a bunch of people from New York?
He put on like some of his friends. I'm not saying like everybody, but he's put on some of his friends. Like the thing is like when you're looking at like the American scene, you'll notice that every certain like celebrity in music, in hip hop, in rap, they have their groups that they're bringing in. They have these sets of individuals that are here, and you put them in position to win. Same thing if you're looking at New York now. There's a multitude of sectors that's put on their own people. Like you look at Fat Joe individually, you look at Jadakiss individually, Jay-Z individually, Busta Rhymes individually, Fabulous individually, Jim Jones individually, and the list goes on.
They put on like a bunch of different people from their city.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's unpack that. And there's one thing that you also, before we even unpack that, let's separate it into two different parts.
Okay.
You're speaking about America. So, for example, like when Jay-Z goes and signs Bleak, okay, boom, he signed somebody from his borough. He's from Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. Cool. You know, he didn't sign Sauce Money, but like he put Sauce Money on a bunch of shit, also New York artist. Mm-hmm. But then when he started to really start signing artists, he was like, okay, he signed a bunch of guys from Philly, and he signed a guy from Chicago, and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? Because he's going through the whole of America as far as his picking process. When we're talking about Drake, a lot of the times we're talking about this Toronto scene in competition with the whole of America, and we're not even thinking about all of these other places like Vancouver and Regina and Nova Scotia and all these different places. Those are not even in our mind when we're talking about the whole hip hop scene a lot of the times, especially us over here in Toronto with and this is speaking from a non-Toronto born man, with our sense of Toronto is the center of the fucking universe, which it isn't, but for all intents and purposes, I know people feel that way. that whole scene can't compete with the 350 million population and whatever amount of rappers that come from the whole of America. We can maybe go state for state. We can say, okay, Toronto versus New York or Toronto versus Atlanta. But most of the time, we put Toronto in this position where it's like we act like we're speaking about the whole of Canada when we're really speaking about Toronto,
Yeah, yeah,
and we're competing against the whole country.
yeah,
That's not even fair. So that's one thing.
yeah.
Now, when it comes to Drake and or all these different people that you talk about that have put on people, with the exception of Jay-Z and Rockefeller, which I just made an example of, they put on most of those people that were successful who they put on weren't even from their own city, right? A Jim Jones who put on a plethora of different people from New York. All of them niggas is bums now, with no offense. I won't even call them bums. They all drug dealers. You know what I'm saying? They're not Bird Gang. Like J.R. Ryder's not getting no residuals off of Bird Gang mixtapes from back in the days or his own mixtapes. Like all that shit is Dat Piff bullshit. He broke. Same thing with Hell Rel. All of them niggas. The only people who's prospering from those guys is Jimmy to a degree because he can't keep his power on.
Oh no.
and Cameron. So as far as that example of, okay, this guy put on a whole bunch of New York artists that failed. Okay, so did he really put them on, or like they just fattened up their team so it would look good, but they only really focused, only 3 guys out of the whole thing really had deals. It was Jimmy, Jewels, and Cam. And Jimmy had an independent deal. So only 2 of them had real deals. So that's a bad example. Who else did you mention? Maybe you could mention like a QC that put on a bunch of different like Atlanta artists that were all successful, like Lil Baby, the Migos, and Yachty. That would be like the best example of somebody who just kept it strictly to their state or their city, and they put on mostly people from that, and they were all successful. Everybody else, as far as the Americans, they can't just stay in their own state if they want to have like a successful label. They branch out to other places. Now with Drake, when he starts branching out of the center of the universe, Toronto, no offense to the other artists in other places, but the amount of choices get really sparse, brother, and you know this.
Okay, cool. So Smiley is a good choice then.
I don't think he's the best choice, and that's why they're not always so happy with me. You know what I'm saying? I think he's a great artist and everything like that. But as far as somebody who they want to push globally as a rap artist who's going to be able to take them to the next level and be on the top of the charts independent of having Drake on the song, no, he's not the right choice.
Smiley's
and because I say shit, not for the objective to take him out of the hood and be able to help his family, yeah, that's the right choice for them. And they were able to do that for him. You know what I'm saying? Was their intentions to make him a global, worldwide artist? Do you really think so?
No. Not at all.
Okay, so
you can't.
So if that's, yeah, but the thing is, and I'll say even myself included, because we expect that anything that Drake or the Drake associated under label, their intentions is to make them worldwide global artists. Maybe their intentions were just to change his life and get him out of the hood, give him a couple of songs that he can just live with for life, and he can just go on there and be easy.
That's valid, but we need competitors.
So I've said this before as well, like maybe he can go pick up like a Toby or somebody else. Yeah, that's a good thing. Maybe he could do that. Maybe they can do that. But at the same time, I've also been on the side of, and this is why sometimes they don't like my opinions. It doesn't always fare well for somebody to sign to OVO.
Yeah, that's another thing. Cause look at the
where's Majid Jordan?
Right, yeah,
the Vision's not there no more.
Exactly, he's gone. He's with Jermaine Dupri now.
Exactly, Majid Jordan. They're on a milk box somewhere, missing.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So it's not like, okay, well, sign to OVO. That means you're signed to Drake, which is not true. You know what I'm saying? And now your life's going to change and you're going to be an international artist.
Hell no.
Yeah, you're going to get some good motion and everything like that, but you might also be able to get that motion independently.
Okay, great. So if we're looking at OVO, and then I'm not going to lie, like we're going to eventually get into this territory, but when we look at PG Lang, and I'm looking at what they're doing with Baby Keem, like, my God, it's night and day.
Okay, and who else?
No, because I know I see where you're going because
No. And who else? Because if
I
you're
know.
gonna go through the OVO catalog,
So what was pardon?
there's if you're gonna go through the OVO catalog, even with what I just said, Party Next Door is an international star. He just came
Valid,
off of
but
a number one
I
album
ain't gonna
that Drake
lie.
gave
The
him.
talent has gone down in recent years. If I'm gonna be honest,
Also, he wrote work for Rihanna.
I'm not talking about what he wrote. I'm talking about the songs that he's put out. Like the last project.
I don't know because I don't listen to his shit, so I don't know.
I listen from time to time. Like his older projects is damn near S tier, right? Those are what's flying around the world. But it's the recent tracks that are not.
Are you talking about from some sexy songs for you?
No. Honestly, even then, like what there's only like 3-4 songs moving from that album. That album has over 20 songs, no?
Yeah, somewhere roughly about 20 songs.
And
okay.
honestly, it's right now it's just mainly Nokia, and then Nokia's losing its heat. So
yeah, and also keep in mind Nokia became a hit while being suppressed by a label that he's actually suing and currently suing.
Oh, you want to?
Or trying to appeal a lawsuit.
you want to talk about that lawsuit? But let me stay focused on Nokia for a second, because Nokia, half the song is not even his.
What do you mean? It's a somebody else that they stole it from or something?
It's not about. It's not. I'm not saying stealing or anything, but the footage is out there of the kid making the other part of Nokia. Now I don't know what kind of deal has gone in, but like I'm looking at that, I'm just like, okay, so you made like half the track at that point.
Flex, don't make me do this, bro, because I've covered all of these different things, bro, and then like I have to be like rehashing. Like, and I don't have access to like pull up videos like on my own stream and stuff. So like, they already debunked that, bro. Like, and Drake reached out to his peoples, and he's gotten his writing credit, and all that shit is all. They're all good with that, bro.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not speaking in the sense of like stealing. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said that. I'm just looking at it. I'm just like, okay, like the song is like I said, half the song is yours because the other kid, like he put this other part together. And if you reached out and got like him on the writing credits and everything, that's great. I'm just looking at the integrity of the skill set and the talent. That's mainly
He's working in the music business. This is the problem that I think you and a lot of fans don't understand. Your guy that you guys put on a pedestal so high, maybe not doing certain things on the same degree. So everybody who might be watching this later, don't get crazy. He might not be in there like doing the same collaboration process on the same degree as Drake, but Kendrick collaborates too.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I'm
act like Kendrick don't get hooks, melodies, friggin' song ideas, songs that are floating around in the industry that were supposed to go to this guy or go to that guy, ends up on Kendrick's or TDE or PG Lang's desk, and they say, okay, well, we'll take the song. Like, that happens over there too. They're not like whatchamacallit, exempt from doing the different things that are in the music business just because he's Kendrick and has a picture with a freaking crown of thorns. Like,
but no, so
bro,
check this out. I was never even saying that to begin with. I'm not speaking about, oh, this side does it and this side don't. I'm not even close to alluding to that. I'm mainly focusing on how well you can put tracks together. Has Kendrick done that? Yes. But at the same time, when it comes to him putting music together, it shows.
He also put out music at a way different clip. You see that, right? So one man, like for example, for To Pimp a Butterfly, he went in the studio with George Clinton and those guys. He got the Parliament, got together. They probably, a lot of those ideas are just Kendrick kind of adding on to like a whole Parliament flip in the first place. You know what I'm saying? But they collaborated and made a beautiful project together. And then he had songs with Pharrell, with R. Wright, and different songs like that were all in there that, you know, it could have just been him and Pharrell working in the studio together. Pharrell does the whole hook on the goddamn song. So maybe Pharrell, as we've seen in past processes, came into the studio with the beat and said, this is what the hook is. Add 2 verses and let's call it a night and go to the freaking bar. Like, everybody does the same shit, bro, just maybe in different ways. I'll tell you something, even when the whole ghostwriting thing got exposed with Drake, right? and and Meek and all those guys were like, oh, you guys got this guy Quentin Miller, the same
Mm.
Quentin Miller who I interviewed, and was interviewed by Rory and Mal, that said that Nicki Minaj and Meek Mill were pressing him because he wouldn't work for them.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys who are so mad at Drake for having a quote unquote ghostwriter were also mad at his said ghostwriter for not doing ghostwriting for them and threatened the man's life because he's not ghostwriting for them. And then what? Beat him down in the friggin' Nike store because he wouldn't ghostwrite for them. So then all of these guys are guilty.
Mm.
And this guy's the same Dirty Braids guy who's the so super freestyler. He would never. Oh, Meek would never. Yes, he would. And he pressed the man for it.
I'm not worried about Meek Mill if I'm gonna be honest with you, because
But I'm just making an example.
No, I don't disagree. That's a good example for Meek Mill because honestly, I'm not really tapped in with Meek Mill no more since like how long ago? I tap in every now and then for his music, but in terms of just like being on the what's it called, the fan, be a part of the fan base or whatever, I'm not really there. I'm just there for the sake of the music. If I heard he had a good track, he had a good track. I remember he put out a 2-piece or an EP back in the day, and I believe it had songs like Pain Away and Think It's a Game. Those are like my 2 favorite songs from Meek Mill. But that was
Okay.
That was like,
and
from,
don't
like,
forget
how
Nicki
long ago?
Minaj.
Yeah, Nicki Minaj
Don't forget
too.
Nicki
I'm right
Minaj
there
in that
with,
story.
I'm right there with you with that as well. That's why I'm not worried
Right?
about that. But if we're
But
gonna
keep that in now. Hold on.
okay.
But now that you have this information, like I don't know if you heard this story, the story before, or this is the first time you're
No,
hearing it.
I've covered
Now
it
that
too.
you
I've
have this
covered it
info,
too.
so moving forward, hearing any of their songs, are you thinking maybe somebody else might have wrote that shit,
Honestly, no.
or it doesn't matter? It doesn't. So then, why does it fucking matter for Drake? Shit, man.
Because okay, bet. Let's talk then. So it's just the ego. It's that ego. It's nasty.
I just gave you an example of 2 people who have massive egos. You said if you found out, now that you heard that they might have ghostwriters, it doesn't matter to you, but it matters so much for Drake. Why? Answer that.
Because I'm critical about Canada and I want to see Canada to be the greatest without being stupid or moving like an idiot. Plain and simple. But when I look
him
at,
being the greatest means him writing all his songs from head to toe?
we already know he has ghostwriters though.
No, but did that make him the greatest because he wrote his songs from head to toe? Because I'm trying to figure out what's not making him the greatest already.
Hey man, I'm just looking at it from a different lens, plain and simple. That's
What's not making
how
him the
I
greatest
see it.
already?
That's plainly how I see it. Honestly.
He has the biggest numbers. He has songs that are great songs, no matter, and that might be a matter of opinion, but he has so much songs that you can't even deny how many of them are great songs, even if you don't like all of them. He has the influence. He has put on a plethora of people, whether they're Canadian or not, from the quote-unquote Drake stimulus package. What is it that is not equating him to greatness? Or even almost greatest of all time? He surpassed Jay-Z musically. In sales, of course, he's probably lapping Jay-Z almost at this point.
I don't disagree with what you're saying. I'm looking at it from a different lens because even on this channel, we've broken down the statistics. And the statistics show it's not the newer tracks that's making him hot. It's his old shit. The new songs are not flying. Plain and simple.
Same with Jay.
With who?
Same with Jay.
Oh, I'm not worried about Jay-Z. Jay-Z's
yeah,
not
but if we were to make
Jay-Z's not a big 3 though. I'm looking at Cole, Kendrick, and Drake.
Okay, so then out of the big 3, okay? And let's take Kendrick out of this. Let's use your man Cole. What out of the new catalog is really doing the heavy lifting?
Nothing.
They might delete Letter. No, that's not doing his sales. That's not keeping his sales up.
Well, he did sell some units off of that. Regardless if you're looking at the trunk sales or not.
The heavy lifting of his catalog is probably coming from Forest Hill Drive.
I don't disagree. That's definitely a S tier album. I can happily say that.
Look how many years ago that was. That album's like over 10 years ago, fam.
Yeah, that's like what, 2014?
Yes, and maybe KOD might be helping to like add some extra M's to his catalog. You know what I'm saying, as far as money's and what it's worth. But like, to be honest, like the bulk of the money that's coming in from J. Cole's full catalog with a lot of albums in them is from the Forest Hill Drive album. And maybe the album right before that had the TLC song and all that on it. I keep on forgetting the name of that album, but one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like a lot of these guys, like they're living off of legacy catalog. And Drake puts out way more shit than all of these guys.
I don't disagree, but I'm still looking at the older catalog because the newer music's not hitting. From what? I'd say from past Scorpion, what was that, More Life? More Life going to today.
More Life was before Scorpion.
More Life came out before Scorpion?
Yeah.
Okay, so from Scorpion going up, what was after Scorpion? CLB? Certified Lover Boy?
CLB.
Yeah, so from that up, no. Those songs are not flying. And even Scorpion I look at funny because we've already debunked on this channel talking about how that was the album that they definitely pushed. 100%.
I'm not going to disagree with you, fam. I'm in agreement with you when it comes to that.
They pushed the hell out of Scorpion, and I hate that.
Yeah, but that's when, he was the darling. You know what I'm saying? The label was getting everything they wanted. This is prior to them giving them the big 400 million or whatever they quoted that number at. And everything was lovely. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, he started giving them, with all due respect, if any of those guys see that, he started giving them the mid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I know.
I got $400 million. You need me to give you 10, just for conversation's sake and a round number, 10 albums. I got that.
Yeah.
Like as a drug dealer, like you might have 5 of them that are hot, but if you put some cut on it, now I got 10 of them. So you gave them some stepped on albums. Stepped on the product a little bit. You know what I mean? Diluted them. Gave you a little bit of filler here and there. I did call some of my friends and get them to come in and do some features, but they ain't give me the feature like the Lil Durk feature that he got on CLB. That Girls Like Girls, like it wasn't like that wasn't that Durk. It was a stepped on Durk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Got to put a little cut in there. You know what I'm saying?
I'm dead. But either way, like for me personally, what I do over here on this channel, I'm looking at the numbers. I'm really focusing on numbers because one thing I say over here is that the numbers definitely do tell a story, and I do pay attention to when the numbers are put out. I pay attention to what specific numbers that they're putting out, and I also pay attention to what's going on with Spotify and Billboard because their numbers as well. I look at that and I'm just like, there's something going on there. Because ever since I found out that Billboard is the one that's controlling the streams and how much a stream weighs, I'm looking at everything different.
Well, that's just all antiquated in the end of the day, bro. That's just all for us to be able to look and be like, oh, he's the most popping. In the end of the day, it's like, if we are able to see their raw numbers, then cool, that's the most popping person. But in all actuality, who is you really hearing the most is what matters. When you're outside, whether you're going to the jam or you're actually just in regular life and you're hearing stuff playing on a PA in a store or whatever, who is getting in your ears the most is what matters to them as the artist, and to us really as the consumer. Like, who do we hear the most, and who do we like it or we don't like it? Am I gonna go buy that shit and then consume it on my own in the car and listen to a full album of them or put them in a playlist? Like, that's all that really matters. All them other numbers that people show, the stats and all that, that's just for us to argue over.
Yes, but that's the thing though. I'm not looking at the most streaming numbers per se. I'm looking at the numbers past that. Those are the numbers that I'm focusing more on, right? So when I compare it to the artist. And mind you, what you were saying about who you hear the most, that equates to what you hear out there socially, right? That's like a social numeric number that they're trying to put together to say that, oh, of course you're gonna hear Drake more, which is rightfully so, because his catalog is far more larger than Kendrick's. But when we come down to the quality and the and music that has like integrity, that's a different story.
Well, those are also two different things because quality and what has integrity is you can have both can be the same thing and they can also be individual things, right? But the reason why you're hearing all of this Drake music all over the place, besides, don't get it twisted, I know that the label helps. That's what they're there for. But
Nice.
it wouldn't be playing everywhere and the DJs wouldn't be running it if he wasn't making everywhere friendly music. Like the man knows how to make a song that will bop in freaking a resort somewhere, like that song Grease, which I hate.
Yeah.
I hate that fucking song. But it's not for me. It's for when somebody's on a
Yeah.
resort somewhere and they're drinking their Mai Tai and they're like, whatever the damn song, and he sings in Arabic and shit. Like, I don't like that shit, but he's doing something for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, bro, like if you're able to do that, to me, that's a talent in itself. Not
So-
anybody can do that.
So wouldn't that make him a pop star more than a rap artist?
No, because his main vehicle of how he came in was rap.
Was
If it
not
was one
R&B?
thing where, oh, you're talking to the guy who knew Drake before he got on the radio. He didn't get in the cipher when every man was there spitting bars and got in the cipher and say, he didn't do it. We didn't even know he could do all of that until like 2 years later of him putting out music, brother.
I don't know, man. From what I see online.
No. I know, because I'm telling you from when I was there. Fuck online. I'm talking
Okay.
about when
All right.
there wasn't when social media wasn't popping like that. That's what we knew Drake as a rapper. When he came out with the song there with homie their replacement girl, he even had a next man singing the hook for him.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even open that chamber yet. And then he started singing. And then it becomes, oh, he's an R&B singer, pop star, because he got so successful at opening that next chamber. But for the longest time when he was introduced to us and he was sending shots at freaking my youth, Aristo, and the whole team over there, R.I.P. Little the General and all that man's like, they were rapping. We didn't have one inkling that this guy could sing, bro. We didn't even think about it.
Mm-hmm.
So that, in all intents and purposes, that makes him a rapper that can do a whole bunch of other shit. And then guess what? He's influenced a whole bunch of people, besides Kanye West as well, influenced a whole bunch of people to not only just be rappers, you better be a rapper and know how to do some other shit, or you're just ain't gonna fly. You ain't gonna get close to where Drake is.
What are your thoughts on the shift in music?
Like which shift? What part? Because where you are now, or the shift that we're talking about from before?
The shift now, like where music's going.
It's kind of sad. I think it's not a problem only with the music because the quality of the music obviously isn't as good as it used to be.
Of course.
As somebody who's come from like even like my heyday in the early 2000s where lyrics was like at the forefront. So obviously the music quality isn't as good and we have way more of it to choose from. But there's also way more things, and I feel bad for artists in this aspect. They have way more things to compete for as far as attention. So I hate using this term back in my day, but back in my day, we didn't have to compete with what's going on social media, what's happening with I don't know, H3H3, or what's drama's happening with Mr. Beast, and then, what's Icy Springer up to, and all of the other people who are in our local scene, and, what's Akademiks doing. Like, we just had to compete with who's the better rapper than me, and whose music is doing more sales. So the rappers are only competing with each other is what my point is. Now they're competing with each other. They're competing with Kai. They're worried if Akademiks is mad at them and he starts shitting on them on live stream for a couple of hours. Like, they're competing with so much, the attention of so much other people like I don't even know where they're gonna go from here because now they're doing stupid shit to get attention so that people could listen to their music, and they're still not listening to their music.
But okay, I see where you're going. I agree with you that the landscape has definitely gotten tougher, but at the same time, the landscape has undeniably gotten easier because one thing that artists need to focus on is just making their sales.
Okay, but
So
how do
like
you get people to know that you exist so that they'll go buy your shit?
that's the part where like you don't need the academics. That's the part where you don't even need to be like to like forcibly put yourself out there. All you need to do is focus on yourself, focus on your craft, focus on your music, making sure that you have music that has S tier quality. So you make sure you get your mixing and mastering right. You got to make sure that your catalog is undeniable so that when you build that fan base, regardless if it's off TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, wherever, when you are building, all you got to do is focus on the lanes that you are putting your music on. And all you like literally at one point when you want to put out an album, put the link out, drop the link. Because if you really have a fan base, they rock with your music and they F with you heavy, they're going to buy your song. They're going to buy your songs. Staying away from
You're
La
missing a
Russell because
step.
that's damn near the La Russell method because there's something wrong with him with the nonsense he was talking about. I already covered that. But the independent route is possible now.
I'm not saying that it isn't, but there's still the competition that you need to for attention. So now, being an independent artist, you don't have the option of having like a social media specialist working for you. You might have to be your own social media manager,
Yeah.
right? So, yes, once you've checked all of those boxes that you just mentioned as far as making the music and making sure that it's of quality sonically and just content-wise as far as the music, and those boxes are very easy to check these days as far as the sonics because you can get a lot of that like cleaned up with AI and like programs that do a lot of shit for you. So cool. Now, all right, I've concentrated on that part. I have the best music that if anybody hears this, they can't deny it. They will buy it. They'll say, "Where's the link to get the whole album?" Now I need to go find these people. And that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, again, it goes back to the competition. I'm trying to find these people to let them know that I'm the sickest artist in the world. But right now, there's 40,000 people watching Adinross do a stream, and there's nobody on my stream.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, how do I get people to my stream? Maybe I might need to go holler at Aiden and see if he can post my music. Or No Jumper and see if I can get my music posted over there. Wherever the attention's at, let me see if I can get something over there because like nobody's paying attention to me on my own. My audience is like 500 people who follow me and I follow 5,000.
But at that point, before you even have to do any of that, one thing I didn't say yet is that you also have to build a team. Once you build your team, then that's actually going to be easier. But at the end of the day, for artists now, one thing that kind of sucks is that they got to be content creators.
That's just my point. And the team building,
Yeah.
it's not as easy to build a team. Oh, to just believe in my dream. I'm gonna be the biggest artist in the world. And then your 4-3 homies that, are around you are like, okay, bet. I'll do whatever it takes to get you there. Come on. How many times did that fucking happen, bro? You got to pay people to be on your team, and if you're still at the bottom, you can't afford it.
No. I don't disagree, but at the same time, like there are numerous artists out there that are actually making money off their music without even people knowing their name. You don't like when you say being the biggest artist in the world, that's socially. A lot of people are doing that without that even in their title. They're making music for their audience. And it's working, and we don't even know their names.
Yeah, because the internet is a big place.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they've accumulated at least maybe 50,000 followers. It might not be on one platform. It might be on platforms combined. But they've put together at least 50,000 of those people, and a percentage of those are willing to spend. And this is an average that people bring up in the industry all the time. Let's say 5% of those 50,000 people are willing to spend $100 on them a year. So cool. What's 5% of 50,000? 10% of 50,000 is 5,000. So 2,500 people willing to spend $100 on your year. That's $25,000. Boom, you're making an extra $25,000 a year from music, from those people. And those people who are willing to spend 100, they're willing to spend it in the form of maybe downloading certain things that you've, as far as your music, maybe buying a piece of merch or a ticket to a concert. But they're willing, because they're your fans, to spend $100 a year. $100 a year for one person is not a lot, because they fuck with somebody. But if you can increase that number from 2,500 to 25,000, now you're making $250,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? But that increase of 25,000 means you have 100,000 or a little bit more people who are following you unilaterally. Am I going too crazy for you, or do you get what I'm saying with these numbers?
I completely understand what you're saying. Don't worry, I dwell in this realm. I'm not. This ain't foreign language to me. I get it.
Hold on, I'm reading this comment here. He needs to stop with the BS. T-Pain started the singing and rapping way before Drake came into the picture. I can't stand when people lie for no reason. Listen, I hate when people jump in comments and act like I wasn't there. I'm saying this with also knowing that T-Pain started the freaking singing and not really rapping. He was just a singer. He was a rapper turned singer. Like, shut the fuck up, man.
Hey, not too much on Shanice. Not too much.
He was a rapper turned singer, so like he barely rapped. He like we mostly heard T-Pain, especially when the songs that came out, because I wasn't listening to his albums. All of the songs that came out on the radio or on the club were him singing. So I wasn't like, oh, T-Pain rapped, he did a verse, and then he just sang his own hook. No, that's the complete different thing. Like, don't be disingenuous.
Okay, we understand, but not too much on Shanice, man. Come on, around here.
No, because I don't like comments with conviction, like, oh, you're so dumb, don't you know? Like, no, I do know.
Hey,
I know more than a lot of people.
Hey, just see it and just keep going with it, bro. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, like literally, that's where I started. Like, a lot of people are ready to jump, bro. Like, but not too much on her. Not too much.
Sorry, shorty, but like, yeah.
Come on, man. See, I take care of my peoples around here. I make sure, you know.
You see, the thing is, a lot of people just look at me as some podcaster that just started, and I've been podcasting for like 9 years, so it's not even just some new podcaster. I'm not just I've been in the music industry for a lot of years prior to me podcasting. So a lot of the things that I'm saying, it's not just from just being around and loving music. It's from being on the inside of the music industry. People give me information that work in the offices. I deal with people from all three labels throughout the time before getting into the podcast game, and now because of that, before that, I deal with them in the podcast game. So I'm not just talking on my ass a lot of times. I'm talking up from like knowledge and experience.
I'm simply just an individual that wants to learn more about the industry, and I'm on Google, I'm reading articles, on YouTube, I'm looking at certain people from the industry specifically. And simply on this channel, what I'm doing is that the information that I am receiving, I'm using that information in different conversations and different reaction videos that I am doing on this channel. That's simply it. I am somebody. Sorry, pardon?
Your audience is getting upset.
Oh, I know. Why do you think I started, brother? Why do you think I started talking? I told you they ready to jump, bro. Like, it's not a joke. They serious over here, bro. But I'm just
sorry that I spoke in that ranty Friday Ricky Dread tone. Okay, what's her name over here?
Shanice, man, we got Slay Queen.
Shanice.
Hey,
right? My bad, ladies. Okay, I speak harshly. My audience, and listen, no offense to you, my audience isn't as coddled. So sometimes somebody gets in my chat and they get cooked.
I cook different around here. I cook more with facts than just like raging, like, you know what I'm saying? I tend to stay away from the raging. But I'm just simply here to learn.
You don't keep the stove as high.
Oh, brother, no, I cook on minimum. Like, I take my time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro. But I'm simply here to learn the industry and hopefully one day work in it, because I really think I can do some actual, like, give some actual help, insight on how to build artists, because I do have a marketing and advertising background. I have a PR background. I'm well familiar with branding. Like, I really do believe that I can be an actual asset within with the knowledge that I have learned from school and outside of school.
The thing is, bro, you're already in it, man.
Mm.
I've said this multiple times, and I've said this to Drake and them, man. There's no gatekeepers in this game. So when people are like, "Oh, well, I need to get past, I need that OVO cosign or whatever," no, you don't.
I'm not worried
Nobody
about
needs
that.
shit. I'm just saying
Oh yeah,
that
yeah,
them
yeah.
as an
I get, I
example,
get it.
or anybody, any of these guys at the offices, Universal, Sony, any of them, fuck them all. Okay.
Mm.
As long as you got internet connection, brother,
Mm.
and you can hook up your cameras, you can get into the industry.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? You build up your fan base, or you build up your followers, and you keep on learning as much as you can. You're breaking stories, interviewing people, and spreading knowledge and moving the culture forward. You are now part of the music industry. You know what I'm saying? Because then you're going to start building influence, and then different labels are going to be hitting you up like, yo, can I get my artist on your show because I see you cooking over there? So like, I've already joined, you're just still on the ground floor building your way up, but you're in it already.
Mm. Hey, all I'm saying is that they're gonna fear me when it comes to these interviews because I don't play around in interviews, huh? Like I give what I need to give, so the entertainment, comedic factor. But when I start to like get into their heads, when I really start to ask those questions, oh no, it can get dangerous.
Well, that's all on you. You know what I'm saying? Because as somebody, even though I have an industry background, I've never been on the inside. I've never worked. I've worked with these labels, and they've contracted me for shit. But I've never worked for any of the labels as far as like Universal or in the offices. So for them to still be working with me now is because I've been able to build my own shit. They don't give me nothing. I can't expect anything from them. They can't give me a bag unless I've built my value up to the point where they can send me a bag for my services. Other than that, I wouldn't. The only reason I have a podcast is because I work so hard. You feel me? Like I put out content every single day, brother. Like at least 3 video clips a day, maybe 4 shorts. We drop 2 episodes a week. I do a live stream once a week for about 3, sometimes 5 hours. Like we do a lot of content, and we've interviewed at least 700 people, with 90% of them or 80% of them being in Canada or Toronto. So like that, the industry didn't give me that. I and me and my team put that shit together. You feel me? So that we would make, and now we're valuable to them motherfuckers in the industry. And if I want to tell them to fuck themselves, I can do that. And if I don't, I can do that as well because I run my own shit. Fuck the industry.
Hey, bro, I see it. I'm trying to build myself up to be upstanding. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
That's why even when we were talking behind the scenes, I was like, man, fire up this live, bro. Let's make some content, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then clip this bitch up and freaking make 100 clips out of it. I don't care, bro. That's what I'm here for.
Hey, bro, it's cool. It's cool. I know you got to get out of here because it's like 37 right now.
Yes, sir.
You got to prepare, but hey, I thank you for pulling up. You know, hey, I don't know, but maybe first of many, because knowing me with the things I'm talking about over here, there's gonna be a lot of conversations. So if you,
I fuck with you.
Oh, pardon?
I fuck with you, Flex. I fuck with you, Flex. And you have what a lot of people are missing these days, and like you're holding on to it. The I word, integrity. You know what I'm saying? Like I have it too, and it doesn't show as well because I get deep into the fuckery, but I still have integrity. But like yours is like stamped on your shoulder. You feel me? So I definitely need to have you up on the network. So that we can spotlight you and put you onto a bigger audience so that people can see what integrity looks like, bro.
Shit, say less. I'm with it. I'm ready.
Yeah, man. We're going to make it happen. We'll talk behind the scenes.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
All right?
All right, man. Take care.
Peace, brother.
Have a great day.
You too, man.
Thank you. Hey, Shanice, you all right? Well, I'll make sure I check on Shanice and Slay Queen. Like I said, I take care of my people around here. So I'll make sure y'all are all right. You know? Surprise. First of all, I'm back. All right, let's just start that real quick. I'm back. Okay? And I'm back with a bang. Like, god damn. My ass is back with a bang, nigga. Shit. Holy, y'all doing good though. Everyone all right? Everyone good. I wanted to make sure we had that one-on-one. I know King Hammer. Let me say this real quick. King Hammer, I know you were ready. I know you were ready, but you had to stand down, gang. I'm telling you. I'm sorry that I disconnected you because I knew you were ready to talk, bro. But I wanted to make sure that was a one-on-one because I wanted to have that talk to hear him. You see what I'm saying? I wanted to hear what he had to say because I already knew he's got a lot of information on the inside. So that one was more about hearing what he wanted to say, right? I know y'all were ready. Don't get it twisted. I know. But we needed to hear him first before we speak. You see what I'm saying? It's all good, bro. It's all good. Hey, Josh, man, I had to surprise y'all, bro. You see that what the F you said? That's the surprise. Like, that's the surprise, bro. Listen, I give out treats around here. You know what I'm saying? I give out treats. That was a treat. There's a lot of different individuals out there that have their own points. His points comes with history and experience through his eyes, right? But I wanted to, that was a moment where I'm like, I want to hear what he has to say. Because a lot of times, like when we're going through these conversations, we're going through these videos, and we're sitting down together and we're hearing different sides. This was a side I wanted to hear. This was a side I really wanted to hear. So this why it was a little different this time, right? Is what it is. I just want to make sure Shanice is all right. I want to make sure Slay Queen is good because I know over on his channel, he cooks on the stove on high. Over here we cook with medium. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't simmer. We might as well go ahead and continue. Because funny enough, my intention with that conversation was not to go live. He said to go live. Right? So I'm like, hey, that's what's up. But let's keep going because we got to talk about J. Cole.